Good morning, everyone. Well, there's a hope that perhaps our technical problems have been overcome and that you can hear me clearly today. I might just mention I'm actually not here. I've managed to get a bit of leave this week, so I'm recording this in advance. So the message is coming to you from somewhere out there. Not quite sure. Anyway, it's great to be with you. And we find ourselves already in the second week of Easter. And I think, well, Lent seemed like it was taking a long time. Easter is going to be quite a while too. So we have a good number of weeks before we eventually get to the end of that. And you probably have an indication of it because we're still wearing white liturgically. And at the end of that time, then we go back to ordinary time, which is green. So here we are. Today we give recognition to St. Peter Chanel. Now, St. Peter was a Marist, but he was a Marist priest. Now, some people might find that surprising if they haven't looked into it. I recall that when I was at the canonization of the founder of the Marist organization, that there were 5 different groups of Marists who were represented. And the priests were one of them, the Marist brothers, and their groups of Morris sisters, some who are involved in education and some who are involved in missionary work. So it's quite an extensive group. But Peter Chanel was a Frenchman, and he was sent out as many of the early Morrists were sent out on missionary purposes, and in this case to the Pacific, one of the islands in the Pacific. And we find that that is still the case. Many of those areas are still very Catholic as a result of the missionary work that they did. And the place that St. Peter was sent to had recently stopped cannibalism. What a nice place to go to. And so he was there and he reformed the people and he was teaching them and so forth. And he was welcomed by the tribal leader initially. But when it got to a stage where there were baptisms starting to happen, and Father Peter was starting to get a little bit of attention, then there was some jealousy that crept in, and unfortunately, then the tribal leader arranged that he be clubbed to death, and that was just 3 years after he began his ministry as a missionary out in the Pacific. So that is the life of St. Peter. We rejoice that we have had missionaries in our lives who have established the church even in this part of the world. You have a wonderful day. Keep yourself safe. God bless. Bye-bye.